Live from Arkansas streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 7 on THV 11 Plus.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on THV 11 Plus. Ashley, Hayden, Karen, Tracy in the house, ready to get your Wednesday started right.
Halfway through the week.
So far, so good.
And the week's only going to get better.
Oh, she is excited.
I am. I just started drinking coffee.
Oh, I thought you quit coffee.
I know. I've never been a coffee drinker, and I just started drinking it. And I don't know that I love it, but I can't stop drinking it.
Do you drink it
See, you
black
avoid the
or
crash
with
if you never
cream,
stop
or-
drinking it. There you go.
now?
You put cream in it, or
Oh, I
straight
have more
black,
cream
or-
than I do coffee, honestly. So,
Wow. I hear you. I can't drink it black. No, you can.
I can, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
can.
it's for the effect, not for the taste.
I
There you go.
get you, but it doesn't taste right without a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah,
A lot of
little
sweetness
cream,
too.
Yeah.
I don't mind one bit.
Good girls.
You know, there's a study that came out. Have you heard about it? About people that drink their coffee black.
Well,
I told my husband
do
this.
tell.
That they're
Geniuses?
That they're psychopaths.
Interesting.
Seriously, I'm going to find it for you, Hayden.
What is it the old people say? It stunts your growth?
Yes, but don't worry. My husband drinks it that way too.
Don't
so.
make
Okay,
it
so-
angry.
Well,
We
people
don't want
that,
you decaffeinated.
people that add sugar and cream, you're married to psychopaths.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
apparently
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
No, it's something about the bitterness. I don't think it tastes bitter though, but I don't know. There's
I
something
mean, it's
about bitter
literally for the
foods.
effect.
Yeah.
I'm like, as soon as I took this gig about 5 years ago, I became
my
a
husband
black
would-
coffee drinker.
My husband was not a coffee drinker at all either, and then all of a sudden I'm like, and now you're drinking it black of all things.
Yeah. He's
So,
coaching, yeah,
and he's
exactly.
a coach.
Exactly.
Right now, people are downing their last cup to get on the road.
Yeah. So yesterday, he goes to work early in the morning, and then we got home close to 10 o'clock last night. He goes, let's go to bed so we can do it all again tomorrow. Same thing, every night, long days when you're coaching, and early mornings for you. So.
Awake at 10 o'clock during the week sounds brutal.
Oh yes. Well, volleyball.
There you go.
Season.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Traffic looking good right now. We have our usual slowdown 30 eastbound. You can see it's a little bit slower than usual even there around the Bryant exit. So no accidents that I know of so far, but we've just seen some major slowdowns there. This was backed up just a few minutes ago. If you remember, this is around I-30 Benton Highway exit, and you can see this is 117, I believe, and it looks a lot better right now. We saw a lot of brake lights and a lot of volume right there, but still a little bit slow if you're coming in from Benton into downtown Little Rock. You can see it's going to take you 31 minutes from the Alcoa Road exit. Still looking good if you're coming in from Conway and Cabot. But Tracy, we're going to keep an eye on that, and of course let everybody know what's happening.
Absolutely. We are starting out this morning. That frontal boundary came through, but we're still seeing the impacts of a few of those clouds out there, as you can see. And these clouds are keeping us a little bit warmer. They act as a blanket, almost, in just keeping all of that heat trapped. But we'll see here in just a second on the state temperatures how if you don't have those clouds, it gets a little bit cooler, and that's going to be the case for us as we're going to start to clear out as we're heading into the next few days. And so we are looking for that sunrise here in just a few minutes officially. Not that we'll be able to see it, but maybe a few areas. 7:09 in that sunset, 6:41. 69, we finally dropped into those 60s. We've been around 70, 71, but check out those winds around 11 miles per hour. That's going to be the case throughout the day. And then this afternoon, I think we're going to start to see some gusts around 20. So we're going to still see that dew point still drop as we're heading into the next couple of days. And it's going to be really nice. But right now we are seeing 60s and 70s across the state. Those dew points, as I mentioned, they've made it about a quarter of the way through the state, and we're going to continue to see it make its way through, and we're looking for those highs today. Again, looking around those mid to upper 70s. It's going to be a nice breezy day. We'll talk more about this nice fall weather coming up.
Tracy, thank you. Schools across Arkansas already locking up cell phones during class, and now more changes could be on the way.
This week, Governor Sanders and Attorney General Tim Griffin are launching the state's 2025 Social Media Summit.
THV 11's Carter Thwaite attended the conference and reports on the questions the Attorney General asked and the governor answered.
An enthusiastic crowd greeting Governor Sarah Sanders on the first day of the state's two-day Social Media Summit.
I'm a parent. I have a 13-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So I'm living this all day, every day.
Sanders discussed what made her and State Senator Tyler Dees want to pass the Bell-to-Bell No Cell Act, which took effect in Arkansas schools this fall.
There was broad support for it, a bipartisan issue, because so many people were experiencing it themselves. This wasn't one of those things that you had to explain to everybody.
Right.
everybody
You're living
is living it
Totally.
and seeing it.
Sanders says they've been tracking the success of the program, and since they took phones away, there's been a drop in verbal and physical aggression and an increase in classroom engagement. She and Griffin also discussed lawsuits. The state of Arkansas has sued big tech companies like Meta and TikTok, which Griffin tells me is about keeping kids safe.
We need better protections for young people. We have seen that the protections that they claim to have do not work.
While Griffin is focused on that, he asked the governor what she'd like to tackle next. She says she'd like to work with big tech and content creators to ensure that what's made for adults doesn't make it to the kids.
What that looks like, I think those details are still yet to be written, but I think it's going to have to be a collaborative effort of us working together.
In Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
And Governor Sanders has shared phone and social media ideas with other governors, including Republican Spencer Cox of Utah and Democrat Jared Polis of Colorado. She says phones and social media are not all bad, at least for adults.
Now in a THV 11 update, Franklin County's sheriff is speaking out against the state's proposed new prison. Sheriff Johnny Crocker posting a video to social media saying the project was forced on his county without local support, calling the site unsuitable and too costly for taxpayers. Instead, he's pushing for more mental health and addiction recovery centers, saying those would address the root causes of crime. The governor's office stands by the plan, saying it's needed to reduce overcrowding and improve access to rehabilitation services. Also, that debate over prison expansion in Arkansas comes as the nation's incarcerated population is growing once again. Arkansas Advocate reporting new federal data showing more than 1.2 million people were in state and federal prisons at the end of 2023, up 2% from the year before. It's the second straight year of increases after more than a decade of decline. The report also shows a fast-growing female prison population and a surge in older inmates, adding pressure to already strained facilities nationwide.
We have another update this morning. Former North Little Rock police officer Tommy Norman now knows when he'll face trial on a domestic violence charge filed last month.
That trial is set for February 11th. It'll be his first time back in court since his arrest. He was expected at a hearing this week, but didn't show. Instead, his attorney entering a not guilty plea on his behalf.
His former colleagues arrested him on a third-degree domestic battery charge. He bonded out the next day on a $350 bond. The arrest led to his announcing his retirement after nearly 28 years on the force.
It changed my life forever because I'd never been on that side of law enforcement. I've never been on the side where my coworkers are sitting next to me, talking to me, gathering statements, and it was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
I know that I embarrassed my family, I embarrassed the community, and now I have a lot of making up to do.
This case marks a major shift for Tommy Norman, a man long celebrated in his community.
Throughout his career, he built his reputation on mentoring young people and strengthening trust between police and neighborhoods.
Time now 7:08 from the nation's capital. Attorney General Pam Bondi facing tough questions before the Senate Judiciary Committee this week. Democrats pressed her on a range of issues, from drone strikes targeting suspected drug cartels to her handling of the controversial Epstein files. Bondi also pushing back on claims that the Justice Department is being used as a political weapon to target President Trump's opponents, including former FBI Director James Comey.
And following that heated exchange on Capitol Hill, former Director Comey is now facing the Justice Department he once led. Comey to be arraigned this morning in Virginia on federal charges of obstruction and making false statements tied to his 2019 testimony on the Russian investigation. The indictment came days after President Trump publicly called for his prosecution. Comey insists he is innocent and plans to fight the case at trial. The hearing was moved up a day due to expected crowds and security concerns, also being handled by a new interim U.S. attorney after recent staff changes. This will be Comey's first court appearance since the indictment last month.
The government shutdown is in its second week with no end in sight, and now federal workers may face denied back pay. That's according to a White House draft memo. President Trump, who signed the law back in 2019, guaranteeing back pay after shutdowns, says he is following the law, while he's also saying Democrats are accusing the administration of bullying. Essential federal workers continue reporting to their jobs, but now air traffic control towers are seeing rises in sick calls, and the FAA is warning ground stops could hit major airports.
There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
This administration has spared no effort, none, to be intimidating, to incite fear if there are these mass firings, or if pay is denied, because people have rights. They will sue for damages.
The Senate is expected to vote on competing short-term funding bills this morning, while the Air Traffic Controllers Union says members must keep working or risk termination. Time now to turn back to Ashley King and a check of the traffic this morning.
Hey, thanks guys. Yeah, there is an accident that I want to show you right now that is causing some delays. We saw where there was quite a bit of volume and some congestion on 30 eastbound. And now we know why. There is an accident there on 30 eastbound. This is around the Bryant exit. As you can see, this is causing backup here going at just 11 miles per hour, 30 eastbound. This is mile marker 125, 125. So it's blocking the center lane, actually. So this may cause some delays for quite some time. I'll show you exactly what that looks like in just a second. But I also want to show you that it's a little bit slow already here at the North Terminal interchange. So just be aware of that. But this is the accident that I was just telling you about on 30. As you can see, we have several law enforcement or emergency vehicles on the scene. So this is backing things up a little bit. It's causing some delays as you're coming in from Benton and Saline County. 37 minutes if you're around the Alcoa Road exit coming into downtown Little Rock, but still looking pretty good if you're coming in from Conway or Cabot. Tracy?
All right, temperatures right now, they are starting to come down just a little bit, but we had that frontal boundary push through, and that's going to bring in that cooler, drier air. We're seeing the influence of that a little bit further north, but it is making its way. We've got some windy conditions today. 69 in the capital city, and we're seeing those dew points continuing to come down, but we've already seen them come down here in central Arkansas, so it is steadily making its way. Looking at that difference between Little Rock and, again, Arkadelphia, 4 to 5 degrees makes a big difference in the way it feels out there. Looking at those highs today, mainly looking at 70s, although that cooler, drier air hasn't made it to you just yet in southern Arkansas, but it will, I promise. There is cooler weather headed your way. A little windy out there. We've got that northeasterly flow continuing to push through. We're seeing those winds pick up a little bit here in central Arkansas as well, and Stuttgart. These are sustained winds, so we're going to see some gusts upwards of around 20. So it's going to be a breezy day as we are heading through the rest of the day. We're going to start to see a lot of these areas have some gusty winds associated with it. So stay with me. We'll talk more about this beautiful fall weather that is headed our way, and maybe might need to change a little dressing situations as we're heading off to work and school by Thursday and Friday. We'll be right back.